was other forms of repetition beyond just Melania Trump. And so we're going to play 2 videos here. You can play them back to back. So Daryl Glenn, Senate candidate in Colorado, and then Tom Cotton, who I'm sure that you heard of, one of the big up-and-comers in the Republican Party, had callbacks to previous Democratic speeches of their own. So let's play those 2 videos now.
Mr. President, I have a message. This is not about black America, white America, or brown America.
There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America.
This is about the United States of America.
There's the United States of America.
I have a message to deliver, and let me say it loud and clear. Help is on the way.
To all who serve in our armed forces today, I say help is on the way.
And let me say again, this time directly to our troops in a Trump-Pence administration and with a Republican Congress, help is on the way.
We can do better, America can do better, and help is on the way. America can do better, and help is on the way.
Okay, so there you see Daryl Glenn delivering something very similar, obviously, to Obama's big speech, for his big introductory speech from 2004, and then Tom Cotton calling back to the big closing line of John Kerry during 2000.
At least Melania's speech, and Michelle Obama's speech, nobody, apparently that one guy did. Who remembered it? What was his name?
That was Jared Hill.
Apparently he remembered it, but we don't remember. Everybody remembers there's not a red America, there's not a blue America, there's one America. It just seems like you'd know that one was an Obama one.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, I know that we disagree on this. I think what they're doing, it's a rhetorical trick where they're intentionally calling back to well-known lines from the past to mock the people that delivered them. And in both cases, they're people who are trying to present themselves as a better, more authentic, newer version of that person. Daryl Glenn sees himself as a better version of Barack Obama. Tom Cotton sees himself as a better, newer, more authentic conservative version of John Kerry. I don't think that they're not. Maybe the audience didn't know that it was a callback, but I think they put it in as a callback.
Maybe they didn't deliver it like a callback.
No.
Daryl Glenn said, "Mr. President, I have something to say to you."
Okay, Daryl Glenn is debatable. He might have intended it. Might. Okay. I'll give you a 25% chance of that. No one in the crowd knew it was a callback.
Really?
They're like, yes, we should be the United States of America. Why didn't anybody think of that? And then when Obama said it, they're like, boo, son of a bitch, thinks we should all be united. Divisive, right? And then on Tom Cotton, we disagree 1,000,000%. I've never disagreed more with anybody in my life.
How?
Tom Cotton
didn't
had
know?
no idea. He was like 7 when John Kerry delivered that speech.
It was 12 years ago.
Okay, and he didn't. There was not a callback.
When you call
he said
back,
help is on the way because he's a soldier, and John Kerry said it's for the same reason. And he didn't.
I'm gonna ask him.
He did not mean that as what you're gonna mock a guy from 12 years ago and expect your insanely stupid Republican audience to remember that? And no one in the audience remembered that John Kerry said that. When John Kerry said it, right, Vietnam, yeah, right, help's on the way, no way. Right? Cotton says it, they're like, that's goddamn right, help's on the way.
I think it was a callback.
I don't. If you're doing a callback, one, when it's something obscure, you got to work it in. You'd maybe reference Kerry ahead of time, or you'd smile. It's a joke. You have to. There are subtle messages when you're speaking in front of a crowd that you deliver to let the crowd know. And this is not a message.
No. Well, that was him excited, though. To be fair, he was very thrilled. I could see.
I don't think so. I mean, here's the deal. Well, here we can get back to speechwriters for a brief second. Maybe whoever wrote it thought it was a callback, and then forgot to mention it for Cotton, and then thought, well, he'll figure it out. And then he didn't.
That's a possibility.
Possible, I suppose. But Cotton, to this day, does not recognize that
you
was
landed on it.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Maybe.
I think the speechwriter studies speeches,
or he
so
forgot.
he knew it.
Or he forgot.
Well, that
like you saw it on the prompter, and he's in front of a big crowd, and he forgot.
Yeah,
Daryl Glenn knew.
No.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
No, John, the classic mistake you make all the time is that assuming people are as smart as you are. And they're not
with
remotely.
Trump, and I get a lot of shit for that.
No, because you think that they know what you know. They don't know speeches of John Kerry from 2004.
Democrats didn't even watch that
Nobody
convention.
knows that, right? And you think that
I watched
audience
it.
is like,
I was
oh,
in
good
college.
callback on Obama's speech.
I think
By the
so.
way, which was also from 2004. That was his original Audacity of Hope speech in
Yeah,
2004. The audience is like, oh, way to zing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
don't know that.
Well,
and which leads
I'm gonna do a
perfectly
poll on
into
Twitter.
into the next video, which is, I think there's some chance the speechwriters are sabotaging the Republicans.
You think
I mean,
so?
look, just yesterday on the show, we talked about how the guy who wrote Art of the Deal for Donald Trump now says he's a sociopath and deeply regrets it.
Yeah.
So maybe the speechwriters, who generally have to be kind of smart, have a guilty conscience. And so I want to show you the next video of Melania and someone else you might recognize.
He will never ever give up. And most importantly, he will never ever let you down.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
That's a good song.
1987, I believe, same year Art of the Deal came out, right?
So
Was it really?
That's such a great song, by
It's
the
such
way.
a good song.
No,
His
I-
voice, so honey.
I'm gonna make
smooth.
I'm gonna put out a theory here that sounds a little wild, but I actually think that there's a decent chance it's true. That the speechwriter for Melania specifically, putting the kidding aside, for Melania specifically, rickrolled her on purpose.
I think you Rickrolled her.
Yeah, I
Damn.
think that, that's a thing on the internet when you rickroll someone, and he happens to put those same exact lines into the speech after plagiarizing Michelle Obama. And maybe he didn't mean, like, maybe he did the copying of Michelle Obama not to plagiarize, but at they're not even
a
going to
nod.
catch it.
Yeah,
And,
maybe.
right, it's all one, half a dozen, six of the other, and I'm going to throw Rick Aston's line in there, and I'm going to get her to say it. I'm going to get her to rickroll herself.
I bet he was laughing. Because, first of all, he could be fairly certain she wouldn't get the reference, probably, whereas most people would. And second of all, he will never, ever let you down. That we noted that as a weird line when it happened. I didn't realize it was Rick Astley or whatever at that point. But who says he will never, ever let you down? That's an absurd thing to
Rick
say.
Astley. That's the only
I
person
feel
who
like,
said
I know, but
feel
it
like
fit then.
politicians say it. I feel like he'll
That's
never.
crazy. In 8 years, everything you want, nothing you don't want. It's an absurd standard to hold yourself to.
Okay.
It had to be a Rickroll.
All right, so there's another theory though, which I'm amused by, and I think that there's a possibility it's true. So Donald Trump has no substance to him. Like, we talk about that all the time. We've been at the RNC for 2 days now, and there hasn't been any real discussion about policy whatsoever or substance. So there's a theory that Donald Trump purposely does these things, like he's behind it, right? So the media, us included, will talk about it, because that's the free advertisement that he's been getting, and it's worked for him. Nothing has hurt him so far. No controversy, no offensive thing he's said or done. Everything has worked in his favor.
Disagree.
So,
So it's a funny theory, but it's inconceivable. Donald Trump is not anywhere near that smart. So and
It's
you
a
can
good
tell.
theory.
yeah.
And you can tell because that 60 Minutes interview that we talked about yesterday on the show, where he says, "Oh, I used to be pro-establishment when I was giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to the politicians." That's a dumb thing to say when you're running an anti-establishment, candidacy. Then he said, "Then I switched to anti-establishment." Don't admit that, you idiot, you knucklehead. If he was clever, little finger-esque machinations, you wouldn't admit that on national television.
And Pence he's establishment, and that's good.
Yeah, I think
That's not Machiavellian. That's just,
I think it's all.
he just likes the spotlight and jumps on it. It's not anything more clever than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
think
think it's
about-
all hubris and his overwhelming overconfidence that he doesn't care because he thinks he can get out of anything. It doesn't matter what I say. They love me. So he doesn't think when he says, I was establishment, then I switched. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they would have blown intentionally an opportunity. I don't think Melania would have been thrown under the bus. It's too hard for me to believe. I love the theory.
Yeah.
And it does give him an opportunity to do what he does best, which is say, "Oh, you guys are picking on me. It's work. Hey, now you can come and say, hey, pick on me if you want, but not Melania.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Melania. Not this one. Not this one.
But the theatrics of Donald Trump, I mean, it's hilarious. The way he entered the stage last night, you know, with the fog machine and, you know, Queen playing.
Hey, it was like
We're
wrestling.
gonna show it. We're gonna show it.
Yeah, it was a opening shot of a wrestling thing.
Real quick, do you know?
What do they call wrestling?
Nailed it.
Match.
It was
Match.
definitely a
Now I know
wrestling
what
thing.
these